Howdy tubers! Welcome back for another adventure and Happy New Year. What you're looking at is the first deal of 2024. Unbelievable. Where'd 2023 go? So I picked up this 1986 Honda TRX200SX off of Facebook Marketplace, and I paid $300 for it. Many of you who've been watching my videos for a while already know that the 200SX is one of my favorite all-terrain vehicles. And let's talk about this just for 30 seconds. This particular all-terrain vehicle is light enough that you could go out and get it stuck and be able to pick up the front or back and move it out of wherever it's stuck at. So relatively light, well made. If you look at the size of the pipes and everything else, it's not one that's prone to breaking into a bunch of little pieces as you go out and batter it. So that I like. It's strong enough where it could go out and run and compete. It's got a short enough wheelbase. It's really good in the woods. And just for myself, I've just always liked this machine. So when you find one and you have the ability, especially for only $300, you just run right out there and jump on it. The person I got it from, cool guy, upstate a little bit from me, a little down from Albany, a little up from Poughkeepsie. Cool guy. He had picked it up. He was going to fix it up for his son, but he had a 400 ES and a 600 Grizzly, and his son, when given a choice, would pick one of those over riding this thing. And he wanted to fix it up nice, as in, you know, replace all the plastics. And it just wasn't gonna, you know, he was gonna have to put a fortune into it to do all of that. And he decided not to. So he put it up for sale. Anyway, he said he had it running on starting fluid. And I'm just trying to give it a quick look over. I figured I'd bring you guys along for the camera shots and see what kind of shape it's in. There are certain things that are easier to see from here, right? Took a pretty good shot there. Yeah, and it even bent the arm, both sides. Wow. I wonder how they managed that. They must have hopped it up over something and then smashed it down, maybe. It's bad enough where it looks like it knocked out the alignment. Yeah, it's a bit, I don't know, do they call that pigeon-toed or the other thing? Pigeon-toed not. But, yeah, the front seems pretty tight yet. Yeah, it's got a little bit of the kitty gray paint job and the kitty black paint job. But yeah, the front end looks pretty solid. Tires are just starting their dry rot process. So, and it does have the optional headlight. When we get it down, we'll figure out the brake handles and all. Well, let's continue the inspection. That's not welded, that's a good sign. Looks all original. Doesn't look too torn up. Doesn't look torn up at all. If you're familiar with the 200SX, you know you have a tendency to get a little wear in the back, and then you get a little swimmy. Then it chucks the chain. The chain spools around your drive gear there and ruins the case, and you can't buy a replacement case. So out comes the JB Weld. Yeah, you got some of the beginnings of the looseness there, so one's going to have to pay attention to that. Oh, it did come with a huge towing ball, so you can tow your double wide. It does have a tail light mostly. Oh, we have a box in the back. Yeah, nothing in the trunk. Or nothing in the toolbox. See if there's any junk in the trunk. No junk in the trunk. And you guys could see the fenders are pretty sun toasted, baked, whatever you want to call it. 200SX is held up well. Yeah, a lot of this looks pretty good. With the brakes beyond, yeah, the back brakes are beyond adjustment. Yeah, the back shocks about shot. That's the front. And they're still somewhat there. I do like that headlight. I wonder if it's alive and well. I guess that's for the helmet. What do we do? Go with a... there's been some adjustments on the electrical system. Gas tank says... Seen them worse. Smelled them a lot worse. Not too horrible. Got our... that looks like a Gorilla Tape seat. Not bad. We got things under the seat. The battery's there. We'll check to see if that's any good. Empty airbox. Carburetor. He said he ultrasonically cleaned it and had it running on an intravenous bottle. We're going to have to follow up when he's done. Some of these, I don't know if Gorilla tightens them, but you can't get the oil plug out. It's a tad low, but it looks half decent. I'll finish putting that on in a sec. There it is. One more thing, I didn't even pull the string. Ooh, sounds good. Very thumpy. Looks like it's got the whole exhaust. I'm thinking for parts, I've already got my $300, but that's not what I want to do with this. I want to get it running. Give me another second. We'll continue exploring. So even though there was no junk in the trunk, it did come with some spare parts and a key. Oh, that's a good thing. So, you know, saves $15 or so. Came with the guts for the carburetor, so one could do a rebuild, right? You could see the float, so forth. Came with the fuel valve. Brandy new, obviously. He said it did have a tendency to leak. I'm tempted to give this thing a little spray of starting fluid and give it a couple of pulls, see if she fires up. You know, as I recall, this has an AC CDI, so I don't need to do anything but pull the string a couple of times, see if it'll fire up on starting fluid. You know what? I think I'll do that. What the heck? Well, I dug out the camera stand. Let's give it a little hoot. Starting fluid. There you go. And see what this thing wants to do. Key on, ignition on. Not too bad. So when I gave it that start, I was kind of listening for a few things and looking for a few things, and just quickly. And by the way, I was feathering my hand over the air intake, kind of giving it choke. So the carburetor does seem to have some kind of fuel in it, and it did seem to draw when I did that. Probably the carburetor is partially clogged up, though, you know, for $15 you throw an aftermarket on it. $20 you throw an aftermarket carb, so the carburetor isn't too much to think about. By letting it run for a few hundred beats there, it allowed me to see the engine is a little bit of a smoker, though it didn't sound too horrible. There was no top end noise. There didn't seem to be any starter clutch noise. There weren't any bottom end banging. You know, I think this engine is really pretty solid. So it does look like it has good potential to get out there and run again. It's probably just well worn. That's why it smokes, and I might even be able to cut that back a bit by going with 2050 oil. So not bad. I'd say this thing has great potential to join the fleet as a runner. I've collected up a few of these over the years. Basically none of them have plastic unless they're almost mint. It seems that the plastic's a little thin. It's prone to getting sun bleach, and the way it flares out and so forth, and the way it kind of clips on through here, it has a tendency to easily get damaged and broken, especially when, I don't know how many years went by here, 35 years went by, 36, 37, right? This is no baby. It's like an antique. So one would, I guess, kind of expect it to have a few wounds and bruises. And this one has its share. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I need y'all to keep your feet down, your heads up, and to get out and enjoy each and every day. We had crazy snow that melted with flooding that got into my garage and a little into the basement, and we're supposed to get some more rain and flooding tonight. There won't be the snow to complicate it, and it's not quite as much rain, but the ground is crazy saturated. I mean, everywhere you go, it's either muddy or frozen, just slimy out. So hopefully I won't have to bail my basement and garage again. Snowstorms, in my opinion, they are just work, right? You're fine before the snowstorm. You get the snowstorm, you do a whole load of work, and the best you'll be is where you were before the snowstorm. So to me, snow is just work, my philosophy, eh? Anyhow, I need y'all to keep your feet down, your heads up. I need y'all to get out and enjoy each and every day. when you go get a few minutes, go buy yourself an all-terrain vehicle. What the heck? This time of year, you could get a price on them if you have some place to keep them clean and dry. Take care, folks. We'll see you on the next one. Bye now.